Canadians, cease and desist! Unless you already have, then elbows up. Well, you see, Canadians they're deciding to boycott the United States. I know that's kind of old news. But did you know that just in April, just gone, it's down by 20-odd%. 20-odd%, not just gone, okay, it's a month ago. But anyway, yeah, another 20-odd%. This is Donald Trump's doing, how it is, yes, the TACO. TOTUS, if you like, yeah, TACO of the United States. Now, US tourism is facing a serious setback as Canadian travel to the United States has dropped by more than 20% in April 2025, and it's the sharpest decline since the pandemic. Who needs a pandemic when you got a Trump? Fucking disease, isn't he, eh? Well, increased border traffic congestion, etc., and these factors have deterred travellers from crossing into the United States. Now, okay, traffic congestion. Why is there traffic congestion? Because of border control. It's all the feckin' checks you got to do now. The, rectal exam. Well, they have to scan your barcode, don't they? Well, anyway, there's that. And also your facial recognition and stuff like that, your biometrics. They're literally doing absolutely everything to make sure that you're not Mexican or something. Or, I don't know. Oh, Bennett. Some kind of cartel man. Maybe you've got a cat tattoo. They want to see that as well. And then they want to see what your social media is. They're going to be checking your phones and your other devices. You name it, they'll be doing it. And there'll be lots of ICE officials there with their guns and stuff, and their masks. You can't see their fucking faces. And I want to make a database of all the people with masks on and see if we can get them named, if you know what I mean. Because those masks don't really, you can still see who they are, can't you? Let's be honest. There'll be somebody who knows them, that they will. Well, dox the buggers, that's what I say. Yeah, I'm not really into dox, but dox them buggers. So global airports will ramp up operations for preparation for the peak summer travel season. And Canada is confronting a stark reality as travel volume to the United States plummeted by, like, say, 20%. But say, is it stark for Canada? More people will be spending money in Canada now. They'll just go elsewhere if they're going to travel. It's not a stark reality for Canada, it's a stark reality for the United States, since there's a massive decline in tourism in the United States. Not just from the border, Canada. All the backing airports as well, bringing people in from further afield. They're saying, sod you, do you think we want to get a rectal exam? No! Not for me, thank you! At least put some lard on it first. Well, now Toronto apparently is leading the decline as international preferences rise, so they still want to travel. Now, Toronto, Canada's busiest air travel hub, bore the brunt of the downturn, and the city recorded the steepest drop, both in raw traveller numbers and percentage losses, and of Canadian visitors to the United States compared to April 2024. However, the decline wasn't due to a reduced appetite for travel overall. Yes, they're going elsewhere. Yes, there's a notable shift in destination preferences. Nobody's got to go to the United States. Why would you do it? Why would you subject yourself to that? It's the risk. You might be fine. But it's the not knowing. Can you imagine if you've got your family with you? I know, 2 adults, 3 children. And then somebody ends up saying, no, you can't come in. Not allowed, no. You're a terrorist. I can tell by you tweeting stuff. And you said Donald Trump was orange. Or something like that. Families get split up. But why would you do it? You wouldn't, would you? No. You wouldn't take the risk. Now, we've had US lawmakers and what have you travelling to Canada and what have you to try and tout for the come and visit us, we love you really. Yeah, like in Maine, I mentioned in the previous video, Maine's been putting up posters everywhere saying Canadians are welcome and shit. And somebody, actually Joel on my channel, he's a subscriber to the channel, he made something quite clear actually in the video. He basically said, well, it's not Canada, it's the United States not wanting them. putting up barriers to people coming in, which is effectively an import of money. An export, sorry, say one right, an export. It's money coming in, it's like earning money. Now, the United States, popular Canadian vacation destinations from Florida's beaches to New York City's district are seeing the pinch. They're getting a little bit worried, don't they? Are. Why would you go to Florida anyway? They have like hurricanes and stuff, don't they? And you might have to go to, I don't know, you might see Tagalog, Donald Trump's place. Oh, whatever. Don't go there either. Apparently they've got camels. Anyway, however, these strategies may not fully compensate for the revenues lost associated with the Canadian travellers, you see. Well, what they mean by that is that they're trying to lure other international tourists. But they can see what's going on and they don't want to travel to the United States either. How the heck are you going to have the Olympics at this rate? Could be a disaster, that is. But why are Canadians turning away from the United States travel? So it said, this is in the Travel and Tour World magazine. Now, several key forces appear to be influencing this pivot away from the United States. It's obvious, isn't it? It's Donald Trump and his feckin' 51st state rhetoric. That is really, red flag to a bull, that it is. You have pissed, the United States, that is, has pissed off the Canadians. How dare he? He wants to steal a country. He said, it's not for sale. No one's going to buy it. He just wants to take it. And expect you to just follow suit. The added costs, including cross-border insurance, transportation and accommodation, are prompting travellers to look elsewhere for value. Also, the US domestic policies and political rhetoric are playing a more significant role in shaping public perception of the United States. Now, I keep seeing these ice raids and what have you of individuals and kids in feckin' blinking tie wraps on. A woman with her 3 children and the kids. I mean, there was like a little 5-year-old there with bloody tie wraps on his wrists. What the hell? No. That ain't right in any world. No. Fucking bastards. So the third is post-pandemic travel habits have fundamentally changed. Now, it is literally the fact that Donald Trump and his regime have pissed off the Canadians, and they are rightly so pissed off. Elbows up, and, why wouldn't they be? You threatened them. You've allowed your president, your taco, to threaten another country, your closest neighbour. Some of the most amenable people that there are. But you certainly lit the old touch paper on this one, haven't you? By voting for that feckin' moron that you put into the White House yet again. The United States is not doing very well. The stocks are down, for Christ's sake. No one's investing in the United States. In fact, they're investing elsewhere. In Europe, for instance. 1.2 trillion has been invested in Europe instead of the United States. That is what happens when you put the moron in the White House. He is destroying your economy. Absolutely destroying it. And you're letting it happen. You need to act now and act fast and act hard. Plain and simple. Before it is too late. I think it is too late. I think you're done for. It's alright. I think you really are. It won't be long before there'll be a civil war. Or a coup d'etat or something like that. And then it'll be martial law. In fact, it might not even get that far. Because Donald Trump is not going to need much to persuade him to enact martial law. Anyway, the Canadians are doing the right thing. They're staying away. And those of you who aren't, well, you need your head tested. quite frankly, you need to wake up and say, well, I don't think this place is for us. We're going to stay away. And respect your country. You should love your country. You know, Canada's a beautiful place. Absolutely beautiful place. We're good people. Don't go there. I know sometimes some people have got work, you know, maybe we work across the board. Maybe you've got family straddling the border, you know. It's quite possible. But now you've got this to deal with. You need to think it through very seriously, that you do. Anyway, please boot the old like button and maybe subscribe to the channel, little bell icon, so you get one thing in your pocket every time I upload another video. And consider that I'm based in France. Alright, that's where I am, in France. I'd like to thank people who have actually, you know, Canadians, who have, actually acknowledged the fact that I'm acknowledging them. Because more people need to stand up for Canada against the United States. I feel it's important. Just like people standing up for Ukraine. Because it's a similar threat, you know. Do you trust the taco of the United States? I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. He could quite easily do something even more stupid than he already is. And who's going to stop him? Democrats? Anyway, don't forget, comment down below, boop the old like button. If you want to support the channel, do it on Patreon and buy us a coffee, links down below. Toodaloo! Have a lovely day.